The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
So you're Tommy Smothers.
That's right.
Tell me, are you going to have any unwholesome sex or nudity on your special?
No, absolutely not. No, sir.
Well, then, it scarcely seems worth watching. Thank you.
You're about the guy that hit his wife, and the judge says that'll be $105. $100 fine and $5 amusement tax.
A friend of mine was looking at an apartment, and he asked the manager, "Do you take children here?" Yeah. The manager said, "No, just cash or check."
I'm using a 23-hour deodorant now. After all, I need some time to myself.
You know what?
What?
The anti-litter people are trying to keep the junk off the highways, and, you know, but Detroit is just turning out much too fast.
Dick, did you hear about the farmer who crossed the cow with a camel?
Uh-huh.
Well, he doesn't know exactly what he got, but he only has to milk it once every 3 months.
I know this guy whose doctor told him he was going to die in 6 months. So he said, okay, doc, but I can't pay. So I gave him another 6 months.
Can I get you?
No, Doc.
Do you know where they get virgin wool?
No.
From the fastest sheep in the flock.
Joanne, did you hear about the street cleaner who lost his job because he couldn't keep his mind out of the gutter?
No, Henry, but I did hear about a man who was so nearsighted that he shot an arrow into the air and he missed. I think personally on my behalf that is fantastic.
That if Dracula married Jackie Onassis, he wouldn't have to put the bite on anybody.
A little dog saw a sign that said wet cement. So he did.
My 8-year-old daughter thinks she's Jewish, but we won't tell her any difference because we wanted to marry a doctor.
Dick?
Yeah, baby.
Listen, check me. Do you notice anything offensive?
No.
Oh, good. It must be you. I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever tried mouth-to-mouth resuscitation?
Only as a first resort.
My new fiance thinks I want to marry him because his father left him so much money. But that's not true. I don't care who left him the money.
You hear what happened to the shortest outlaw? They hanged him from the nearest stump.
I was really terribly lucky during the recent brainstorms and mudslides. My $30,000 house slid into a $100,000 neighborhood.
I believe in clubs for women, but only when kindness fails.
I'm Dan Blocker. There's been a lot of changes in guys' fashions. Today, a guy can wear his hair longer. Nobody thinks a guy is peculiar because he smells nice. So I use Savage. All the guys in my crowd do.
History has given us men who will be remembered for various reasons. There was Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, Albert Einstein and Louis Pasteur, Woodrow Wilson and Warren G. Harding. Now, here's two guys who will be remembered for being almost as funny as the first group I mentioned, Dan Rowan and his famous flounder, Dick Martin.
Dear, don't you think you're leaving a little early?
Of course not. It'll take me 9 months to get there and return with the doctor.
Anybody been talking about them young soldier boys mom got coming to visit her? It's only a platonic relationship. It's a play for them and a tonic for moms.
Senator, we've got a few problems. There's an investigating committee looking into a conflict of interest.
Well, I have nothing to fear.
Well, yes, I know, but what about your brother getting those defense contracts?
It was my patriotic duty. If this country can't trust my brother, who can it trust?
I hope the investigating committee agrees with you, sir.
Oh, they will.
How can you be so sure?
Well, if you'll recall, I'm also chairman of the investigating committee.
Darling, would you take a look at the refrigerator? I think there's something wrong with it.
Okay, honey.
What rotten luck. This had to happen on my vacation.
You think you got troubles? I'm here on my honeymoon. You see, I came to visit a friend.
Oh, you sick?
No, she's feeling much better now, thank you.
The most asked question this week is, what was the least asked question this week?
The answer is, what was the most asked question this week? The second most asked question this week was, what was the second least asked question this week?
The answer is Patty Duke, 1903.
Now that you're getting out of the Army, I suppose you just can't wait till I die so you can spit on my grave, right?
Oh, no, Sergeant. I swore that when I got out of the Army, I'd never stand in line again.
I'd like to draw some unemployment.
Very well. Are you eligible?
Of course, I'm unemployed.
Where were you employed?
Well, I wasn't. That's the reason I'm unemployed.
Sorry, sir. You can't draw unemployment unless you were employed.
You mean if I were employed, then I could draw unemployment?
No, you can't draw unemployment if you are employed.
Huh? Well, if I can't draw it if I'm employed, and I can't draw it if I'm unemployed, then what can I do?
Don't ask me, baby. I'm just employed here.
Need a helper?
Gee, host! You know what, Cartwright? You're the fattest gun in the West.
That's the fastest gun, Goldie.
Well, keep it under your hat and I won't breathe a word of it.
You know, Goldie, how to use like riding shotgun on an empty stage.
Thank you. Me too.
Oh, folks, get set. The Farkle family should be showing their fine, funny faces in about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm a Farkle freak.
I do terrific bird calls.
Really? Let's hear your bird call.
Here, bird, here, bird.
I say give a woman an inch and she'll try to park a car in it.
The first beer drinking contest of 1970 was won today by Mr. Mickey Loeb, who drank 28 cases of beer in 14 minutes. Well, immediately following his triumph, Mr. Loeb was rushed by his friend, Mr. Bud Weiser, to the Bush Knee Clinic, where x-rays revealed to an amazed staff of incredulous doctors the world's first kidney with a head on it. After his recovery, Mr. Mickey Loeb announced, "I'm all bushed, and I'm certainly not thirsty."
Madam, would you like this pizza cut into 6 pieces or 8 pieces?
6. I'd never be able to eat 8 pieces of pizza.
Hey, Irene, now tell me all about this fantastic new diet you went on.
Well,
I read about an 85-year-old man marrying a 15-year-old girl.
No fooling?
Darn little.
You're surrounded, Cassidy. Throw out your gun and you won't get hurt.
Okay, Copper. Here's my gun.
Okay, Cassidy, we're coming in.
No, not yet.
Come on, Cassidy, open up.
I told you I'm not ready yet.
Here we come, Cassidy.
No, wait just a minute.
I said open up.
Oh, stop yelling at me.
We're coming through, Cassidy.
I told you to stop yelling at me. I'm a nervous wreck in here. I'm all by myself. I don't know what's going on. I haven't had anything to eat in 2 days. I hate TV dinners. I just won't eat it. Now you can come in. Why did I do that? My name isn't Cassidy. Sometimes I wake up and I have this black cloud over me and I just go nuts the whole day.
Wake up. Wake up. Rip Van Winkle, wake up.
Yes, what is it, my dear?
You've been asleep for 20 years.
Well, why did you wake me earlier?
You just started snoring a few minutes ago.
Hey, read all about it. The latest on Judge Crater. Read all about it, honey. The latest on Judge Crater.
Here, give me a paper. Where is it? Well, I don't see anything in this paper about Judge Crater.
Well, that's the latest, honey.
First
First, you fill out a W-4 form. Usually people deduct exactly how many deductions they actually have. And if you and your boss will deduct less from your paycheck so that when the paycheck comes, you'll even have more to pay. But not as much as if you didn't have any at all. Now, mind you, these deductions are the same type as those on your 1040 form in April or July if you're late. But these deductions must be, however, as many people exactly you have that are real deductions. And the more you have, the less you pay if you have to pay. Or the more you get back of what you already paid from the W-4 deductions is more than you owe already. Now, next week, I'll be here to explain the oil depletion allowance or how to make chocolate chip cookies.
Are you Santa Claus?
Of course not.
Then stop fooling around with my stockings.
Today, University of Burbank historian Dr. Stanley L. Spiro blamed the decline and fall of the Roman Empire on a bunch of tough luck.